Hi, people. It's Dr. HMS again, and today we're going to talk about the 2021 top 10 and more causes of death in the world. I'm sure you'll find this pretty interesting. So, generally, we need to ask the question, why do we need to even know the reasons why people die? Yeah, it's important to know why people die in order to improve how people live, isn't it? So, measuring how many people die each year helps us to assess the effectiveness of our health systems. It enables us to direct the resources where they're most needed. Also, data on death can help us focus on activities and also allocate resources to very important sectors such as the transportation sector, the food and agricultural sector, the environment, as well as the health sector. Now, generally, causes of death can be grouped into three categories. The first is the communicable diseases. Now, communicable diseases include the infectious diseases, the parasitic diseases, maternal diseases, that is, diseases that are related to pregnancy and childbirth and child rearing. Also, perinatal diseases, which are diseases that occur around childbirth. Other conditions include nutritional conditions, either in the mother or in the child. Now, for the non-communicable diseases, which is the second cause of death, it includes diseases such as hypertension. I'm sure you're aware of hypertension. It's otherwise known as high blood pressure, diabetes mellitus, HIV/AIDS, and other similar diseases. For the third cause of death, we term it as injuries generally. Now, injuries can occur as a result of several causes. Common cause trauma, trauma from any form. For example, road traffic crashes, accidents in the home, burn injuries sustained, during mishaps and the like. So, people generally that live in low-income countries, we know, are far more likely to die of a communicable disease than a non-communicable disease, and that has been happening for years, for decades, and it's really hasn't changed much. Malaria, tuberculosis, HIV/AIDS all still remain in the top 10 causes of communicable diseases in low-income countries. A recent WHO, that is the World Health Organization's Global Health Estimates fact sheet, was published in December 2020, and it noted that over the past 2 decades, non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, strokes, and dementia were responsible for a faster growing number of deaths globally than the communicable diseases, as mentioned before, like diarrheal disease, HIV/AIDS, and tuberculosis. This was actually, you know, um, noted, and these new estimates in this fact sheet is actually another reminder to us that we need to rapidly step up the prevention of diseases, diagnosis, and treatment of not just diseases, but non-communicable diseases. This was noted by Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the DG of WHO, because it was noted still in the fact sheet that among the fastest growing causes of global death was dementias generally. Alzheimer's disease now ranks as the seventh leading cause of death in the world. Lower respiratory tract infections, including pneumonia, were the deadliest group of communicable diseases, and it ranked as the fourth leading cause of death. Now, over the past 2 decades, we found out that deaths from tuberculosis have actually decreased by 30%. And as we're going to talk now about the global causes of death, it's important to know that the reason why we're presenting this topic is for us to know, what to avoid, how to take care of our health, how to own our health in order so that we don't fall prey, we don't fall victim to these diseases. Now, first on the list is the ischemic or coronary heart disease, otherwise known as coronary arterial disease, sometimes abbreviated as CAD. It is the number one killer. It's the number one killer of both men and women globally. Coming in a close second is stroke. Now, stroke is also known as a cerebrovascular accident in medical terms, and it usually occurs in patients that have thromboembolic phenomena due to whatever reason. Commonly, clots. Clots could be from anywhere. Hypertensive patients are more prone to developing strokes. So are sickle cell disease patients and the like. The number 3 cause of global death in the world is what is known as the COAD or the COPD. And it's called chronic obstructive pulmonary or airway disease. You can see that in an example as asthma. That is very common globally. Now, lower respiratory tract infections such as pneumonia have been mentioned before in being a very significant cause of global deaths, and it comes in as number 4. Neonatal conditions are conditions that occur to the newborn in the first few days to weeks of life, and they comprise of several conditions ranging from birth asphyxia, birth trauma, neonatal sepsis and infections, as well as preterm birth complications. Number 6 are tracheal, bronchial, and lung cancers. These are malignant conditions of the airway. We talked about Alzheimer's disease before. Other neurological dementias also cause death, and it comes in as number 7. Now, diarrheal diseases are common in low-income countries. They're also common in children, especially under 5s, and they're very common in low-income countries. Diabetes mellitus is increasing worldwide. The number of patients we see even in low-income countries now are coming down with non-communicable diseases like diabetes mellitus, and it comes in as number 9. Kidney diseases, the same thing. Formerly being seen more in high-income countries, now is a problem of the low-income countries, and it comes in as number 10. Tuberculosis, though it has reduced over time, is still a killer, and it comes in as number 11. And And of course, HIV/AIDS, the killer of yesteryears, has now come in as number 12. Now, injuries. We talked about the injuries. I've talked about how they can range from various kinds of injuries, traumatic injuries from whatever cause, burn injuries from whatever cause, and a host of others. And so we'll stop here. So subsequently, I hope to talk probably more extensively about each of these conditions in subsequent recordings. Do let us know in the comment section whether you liked this presentation, how it could be improved, what you'd like us to talk about subsequently. And also, please share with all your groups, all your family, your friends. Let them take charge of their health. Let them own their own health. Let them subscribe, and you too should subscribe to this channel, like it, and of course, click on the bell notification so that whenever a new video drops, you'll be the first to know. Later, people. Bye.